Jurassic Park is frightening in the dark. All the animals are running wild. Whoa! Whoa! You're being taught by a velociraptor today. Woo! All right. So we are learning to find trig ratios. I think you're barely seeing this. Here we go. So secant of 5 pi over 4. Secant of 5 pi over 4. So where is 5 pi over 4? 1 pi over 4, 2 pi over 4, 3 pi over 4, 4 pi over 4. That means that this is 5 pi over 4. Way-o. So now you're going to draw a reference triangle. Draw a reference triangle. And so that's just going to be 1 pi over 4 there, which is the same as, which is equivalent to 45 degrees. So this is going to be a 45, 45, 90 right triangle. This is the opposite side. This is the adjacent side. This is the hypotenuse. Oh, sorry. And then we have to go ahead. It's our 45, 45, 90. So the sides then are the same. So that's going to be equal to 1 and 1. But because left and down, that means it's negative, and that means it's negative. Left and down. And the hypotenuse is radical 2. So what is secant? Secant is 1 over cosine. So that's going to be hypotenuse, right? So that's going to be hypotenuse over adjacent. And hypotenuse over adjacent is going to be hypotenuse radical 2 over adjacent, which is negative 1. So the answer should be negative radical 2. That's our answer. There's our answer number 6. Wow. It's getting kind of warm. It's already in April. Woo! Okay, so then cotangent is next. So where's 4 pi over 3? Well, I don't know what a pi over 3 is, but I do know if you times it by 2 and times by 2, you get 8 pi over 6. And I know that's 1 pi over 6, 2 pi over 6, 1 pi over 6, 2 pi over 6, 3 pi over 6, 4 pi over 6, 5 pi over 6, 6 pi over 6, 7 pi over 6, there it is, 8 pi. 8 pi over 6 is right there. So that's going to be a right triangle. Right triangle. So this is definitely going to be a distance, right? So if you go one more, this would be 9 pi over 6. So that means this would be 1 pi over 6, or 30 degrees. And if that's 30 degrees, that means this is 60 degrees. Way-o. So then we have opposite the 60 degrees, as well as the adjacent, as well as hypotenuse. And so this is the long leg. And so the long leg is always radical 3. But it's negative radical 3 because we're going down. Right? Okay. So that's negative radical 3, which is the opposite side. The adjacent side is going to be going to the left, which is the short leg across from the 30 degrees. And that's just 1, but it's going to the left, so negative 1. And then it's going to be 2 is the hypotenuse. And so they want cotangent. And cotangent is not opposite over adjacent, that's tangent, but it's going to be adjacent over opposite. And adjacent over opposite would be negative 1, this guy right there. All over opposite, which is negative radical 3. And negative divided by negative is a positive. And then you go ahead and rationalize the denominator. So that's 1 times radical 3 all over 3. So radical 3 over 3 is our answer. Radical 3 over 3 is our answer. Cool. What's cosine of negative pi? Well, negative pi is going to be going down in this direction. So that's negative pi. And the coordinate there is negative 1, 0. And cosine is the x value. And that'll just be our answer. So just negative 1 is our answer. So cosine negative pi is just the x value. This is a special angle. It's a special quadrant angle. And so you just go to the quadrant and use the x or y value or both as tangent. Okay, what is tangent of pi over 2? Well, pi over 2 is the same right here as 90 degrees. So pi over 2 or 90 degrees. And so that's going to be 0, comma, negative 1, no, positive 1. So over 0, up 1. This is your x value, this is your y value. And so tangent is going to be what? Y over x. Because it's sine over cosine. And so that's going to be 1 over 0, which is undefined. Which equals undefined, undefined. Undefined. There we go, undefined. Cool. So what is secant of 270 degrees? That's all the way around here. So that's 270 degrees, which is also the coordinate 0 down 1. And secant is 1 over cosine, which is going to be hypotenuse, no, which is going to be 1 over x. And your x value is 0. So that's also going to be undefined as well. What about sine of negative 10 pi over 3? Wow. Well, negative 10 pi over 3 is the same as, let's see, so if we times it by 2, we get negative 20 pi over 6. Wow, can you count? So negative, I guess, negative. So that's going to be negative 1 pi over 6. And that's negative 2 pi over 6. And that's negative 3 pi over 6. Wow, we're going all the way to 20, huh? Okay, that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Change to green. 13, that's negative 13 pi over 6. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Woo, there it is. Negative 20 pi over 6 is what we're looking at there. So that's going to be this angle, this triangle right here. And since this little one is 30 degrees, that means this big one will be 60 degrees. And that's opposite. And that's going to be, I'm going up, so that's radical 3. Hypotenuse is 2. And then the down here is the adjacent side. And that's going to be across from the 30 degrees, which is just 1. But it's actually negative 1 because it's left 1. Because you're going left. Left 1 and then up. So left 1 and then up. And left is negative. Left is negative. Left is negative. Up is positive. Okay, so sine is opposite over hypotenuse. There it is. So that's going to be radical 3 over 2 is our answer. Radical 3 over 2 is our answer. Right? So I think you guys are getting the hang of these. Try that on your own. You know 8 pi, don't you? This is 2 pi. It's also 4 pi. It's also 6 pi. It's also 8 pi. Going 1, 2, 3, going 4 times. 4 rotations. Rotations. So basically it's the coordinate 1 comma 0, which is x and then y. And so we want to know what cosine is. And cosine is the x value. So it's just 1. The answer is just 1. The answer is just 1. That's negative 5 pi over 6. I think it's actually down here. So that's a 30, 60, 90 right triangle. Opposite the 30 degrees. as well as adjacent and hypotenuse. So that's going to be a 1, a negative 1. That's going to be a negative radical 3. And that's going to be a 2. So cotangent is adjacent over opposite, opposite over adjacent, adjacent over opposite, which adjacent is negative radical 3, all over opposite, which is negative 1. And negative divided by negative is a positive. Radical 3 should be our answer for 12. Should be our answer for 12. Let's see here, number 14. In fact, we'll double check. Just 1 second. Yep, just want to double check, but we're doing good. So make sure to pause me. I haven't said that yet. Make sure to pause me. Make sure to pause me. Try the next one on your own. Try them all on your own. Then you can watch the video, see how you did. So how do we do cosecant? 450. So all the way around is 360 plus another 90 is going to be 450. And so this is 450 degrees right here. 450 degrees. And then that's going to be 0 up 1. And cosecant is 1 over sine, which is the same as 1 over y. And that's our y value. So 1 over 1 equals 1. Answer 14 is 1. Okay, so if cosine equals a half and sine is less than 0, find the value of the reference angle for theta in degrees and the quadrant in which it lies. Find the value of the reference angle. Okay, let's see. So this is going to be the cosine is trying to get a positive 1/2. So positive. Sine is less than 0. That means sine. We're looking for wherever sine is negative. So we draw that. And so sine is negative. Let's see, where's sine negative? Sine is negative here and here. And then cosine is positive here and here. And so we are in the bottom right quadrant. Bottom right quadrant. So find the value of its angle for degrees and the quadrant in which it lies. So the quadrant is definitely quadrant 4 is our answer. That's where that lies. So quadrant 4. Now we're trying to draw this right triangle and try to find that missing angle, basically. So what do they tell us? So the cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So we know that the hypotenuse is definitely 2. We also know the adjacent to the angle is going to be 1. So adjacent is equal to 1. And this looks like a special triangle with 1 and 2. That means this side has got to be radical 3. Use Pythagorean theorem. 1 squared plus the opposite side squared equals 2 squared. So that's 1 plus opposite squared is equal to 4. We minus 1 side over. So we get opposite side squared is equal to 3. Square root both sides, radical 3. And that means this is a 30, 60, 90, but this side is the long leg. And what does that mean about the long leg? That means that this has to be 60 degrees. 60 degrees is our answer. 60 degrees. So the reference angle is 60 degrees, and the quadrant is quadrant 4. Cool. Let's try the next one. Can you try the next one on your own? Try the next one on your own. Try number 16 on your own now, right? We want where sine is negative, and cosine is also negative, because it's less than 0. So where quadrant is that? Which quadrant is that? Which quadrant is that? I can already see the 1 radical 2. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Probably 45 degrees is our reference angle, just saying. Okay, go ahead and try that one on your own. Number 17. So sine is equal to that, tangent equal to greater than 0. So tangent is greater than 0, so tangent is greater than 0 there. So that's me. So tangent is greater than 0 here, and as well as here. And then sine is negative, sine is negativo, also here and here. So we must be in the fourth Third quadrant, third quadrant. Third quadrant, so we're going to draw that reference triangle there. And so sine is, so what is sine? Sine is equal to opposite over hypotenuse, which means that the negative 3 is the opposite and hypotenuse is 4 from this guy. So that means that opposite is going to be down negative 3, and the hypotenuse is 4. Ooh, that's tricky now. We're going to have to do, just call this maybe b, right? It was b equals, so negative 3 squared plus b squared, or you can call it the adjacent side if you want to. Or the adjacent side squared. You can call it the adjacent side squared if you want to. So the adjacent side squared, a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. So that's 16. That's 9. We're going to minus that 9 over. So 16 minus 9 is 7. So we get the adjacent side squared is equal to 7. We square root both sides. So the adjacent side is going to be a negative 7. No, it's going to be the square root of a negative 7. Yeah, square root of 7 is what the adjacent side is. But it's going left. That's why it's negative. That's why it's negative. That's why it's negative. So cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. And so adjacent is negative radical 7 over the hypotenuse 4. Well, there's our answer there. Looking good to me. And then a cotangent is also adjacent over opposite, which is going to be positive. Because a negative divided by negative is a positive, Cool. So try number 19 on your own now. Try number 19 on your own. Now try number 18 on your own. The hint is 1, 2, negative 3. So we're going left, negative 3. And then we're going up 2. So negative 3 and up 2. And there's our triangle. So negative 3 to the left, so that would be this guy for the adjacent side. Awesome. And then we're going up 2. Up 2. So left 3, up 2. And so that means that we can do that, and we can find the hypotenuse. So 2 squared plus negative 3 squared is equal to the hypotenuse squared. Call it C, hypotenuse. And so that's 4 plus 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And so the hypotenuse is going to be the square root of 13. Nice. So now that you know that the hypotenuse is the square root of 13, the opposite side, opposite the angle, is 2, and the adjacent side is negative 3. Can you find some answers? Can you find some answers for sine, cosine, tangent? I know you can. Give it a try. Give it a try. Right? So let's finish. Yeah, convert from degrees to radians, radians to degrees. So I'm going to do A because I think B is on canvas. So convert radians to degrees. So you just times by 180 and divide by pi. Because a degree doesn't have a pi in it, no pi. So that means they're going to cancel. So now we get 3 times 180 divided by 10. And so we can plug that into our calculator or do it by hand. 3 times 180 divided by 10, is that 54? 54. 54 degrees. So you give it a try now, you give it a try. Times by what? Divide by what? Degrees, radians to degrees. R to degrees times by 180 over pi. And then going from degrees back to radians, you times by pi over 180. Pi over 180. So times by pi, divide by 180, and then reduce it. And then reduce it. So divide by 10, divide by 10. we get 32 over 18. Divide by 4, no. Divide by 2. Divide by 2, we get 16 pi over 9. Is our answer? Nice, nice. So keep on going, keep on busting through. Do you want to find one positive coterminal angle and one negative coterminal angle? Check our video. 20 minutes? We can start another video. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video for coterminal angle. Coterminal angle. Thanks for watching. Yeah. Oh no, what's he gonna do next? Woo! Thanks for watching.